vinyl community, this is Tommy and welcome to another musical adventure. And today's adventure is VCLT, which is something I never get. I'm not really complaining, but I don't get VCLT. It's just something I don't get a lot of. But this VCLT is from Jonathan, the Cheap and Cheerful record collector. He had reached out to me based on my last video where I was kind of talking about some specific things that I was looking for, particularly 70s and 80s Christian rock. And he kind of sent me a message saying that his local thrift, and by the way, he is always finding really top-notch great stuff at his thrift stores. And so if you're not following his channel, then you should definitely be over there checking it out, subscribe. Most of you probably are. He's a really cool dude. But yeah, definitely go check out Jonathan's channel and make sure that you're subscribed. And it was very cool. He said, I've got some stuff. I'm not interested in that genre of music, but since you are, I'd be glad to send you some stuff. And so he did. Now, I've not looked at what he's got here. I just kind of opened the box. As you can tell, the box is open. I love that he wrote VCLT on it. Very cool. And we're going to dive in and see what we've got here and just kind of go through it really quickly. That last video, the record crawl, has done really well. I want to thank everybody that has tuned into that video. I had so much fun making that video. And if you haven't checked it out, please go back and do that one. I just think it was a blast. Had a lot of fun making that video, putting it up. And I just hope you guys enjoy it. The usual spiel: subscribe, like, comment, let me know. But anyway, there's a nice note. Tommy, enjoy the tunes. Very cool. And right off the bat, I can see underneath the bubble wrap, I can see a great record. Keith Green, To Him Who Has Ears to Hear. Keith Green was a bit of a prodigy. He was signed to Decca Records in the 60s at 11 years old. There's some YouTube clips of him when he was a young man. Became a Christian and in the 70s and was one of those writers that just really was very passionate. I mean, he stepped on a lot of toes with his messages, but he was a fantastic songwriter. Just a powerhouse. Sang piano, had played piano, sang with this beautiful tenor. And this album in particular, probably his best album for him who has ears to hear. This album really just is a knockout. Songs like Trials Turn to Gold, You Put This Love in My Heart, Because of You, He'll Take Care of the Rest. There is Your Love Broke Through, co-written with Randy Stonehill, who is a favorite of mine. So continuing on with this, it looks like more Keith Green. No Compromise. Now this really falls into his ministry. No Compromise. This is an album that I've heard the songs on it. There's Keith right there. When did this album come out? 1980. When did it come out? I don't have a date on this. Sorry. Special thanks, Bill and Janie Maxwell. Piano. It would have been late 70s, early 80s since Keith did pass away, unfortunately, in the early 80s. Songs for the Shepherd, Keith Green. More Keith Green! It looks like Jonathan has loaded me up with Keith Green, which is not a bad thing. Keith is wonderful, a great artist, and really high end. And it looks like the last thing in the box is, you guessed it, more Keith Green. This is The Prodigal Son. And I believe this was a posthumous release, or it may have been one of the last things that he put out. Maybe it was put out, shortly after he died. Died in a plane crash. But yeah, this is The Prodigal Son, featuring the Prodigal Son Suite. 12 minutes and 3 minutes. It is epic. Any 12-minute song is going to be epic, and it's gorgeous, based on of course, the parable of the prodigal son, which is really good. Thank you, Jonathan. That is awesome. I appreciate you sending that along to me. I am constantly looking out for this stuff. Phil Kagi, Randy Stonehill, the 77s, anybody like that, Daniel Amos. There's a lot of like groups that to me, now Keith was definitely more mainstream, and you're probably likely to see more of his stuff. Stuff like Daniel Amos and the 77s, way underground, way hip. And their stuff is not as easy to find. And plus, people don't really know where to categorize it. And so finding those records has kind of become like needles in a haystack. So it's very cool. But thank you so much, Jonathan. That is very awesome that you sent that to me. And just a shout out, go check his channel out, subscribe to it. And what I love about Jonathan, just a quick aside, just a personal thing. Jonathan, in the interactions that we've had, Jonathan has some great stories. He grew up in a time where a lot of this music that I love was coming around. We share a love for baseball, which is very cool. But just musically speaking, there's just a lot of great stories. I recently posted something about a Curtis Mayfield record, and he shared a story when he was a young man going to camp and being introduced to the music of Curtis Mayfield and many other artists. And it's a very cool story, very personable, and just a great guy. Jonathan, thank you so much. Cheap and Cheerful Record Collector. Go check him out. Thank you for the VCLT. I really appreciate it. That's all I've got for you today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.